All right, what's up, guys? Fitness Saturday, last day of the week. So, what we got going on tomorrow? You guys are going to get started with 3 rounds. You're going to do 10 Kang Cossack squats, followed by 10 wall squats. So, for the Kang Cossack squats, what we're looking for is you're going to be in a wide stance. You're going to sit down onto one leg into a squat position. So, heel stays flat on the ground, hip goes down and back. Once I find my bottom position, between legs, I'm going to stick my butt up, stretch out my hamstrings, and then slide down over onto the other leg. This will be 2, back up, 3, and you're gonna go through 10 reps. So 5 on each side. Once you're done there, you're gonna do 10 wall squats. So for the wall squat, what we're gonna do is you're gonna find a normal squat stance against the wall. So again, feet just outside your hips, toes turned out slightly, your just normal amount. From there, your hands should remain in an overhead squat position and the elbows should stay locked out. So this is about my overhead squat position. From here, I'm going to do a normal squat, so send the hips back, and I'm just going to use the wall to help keep my chest up, get as low as I can, and then stand back up. The closer you get to the wall, the harder it's going to be, so start farther off the wall if you need to. Again, most important things, full range of motion, so hip crease below parallel, and the arms stay straight the whole time. Once you're done there, you're going to go through 3 rounds of 10 bent over rows and 10 prone swimmers. So bent over row, you can use whatever you have, barbell, dumbbell, backpack, anything. It's just meant to be light. So we're just warming up the shoulders a little bit, getting the upper back activated for some overhead squats later. And then you've got 10 prone swimmers. So for the prone swimmer, you're going to be face to the ground. And then we're going to start hands all the way up overhead. Try and keep your chest relatively close to the ground, head close to the ground as well. I'm going to keep my hands and elbows as close to the body as I can. Tuck them in, reach for my hip, and then bring them back up the exact same way. So we're just trying to get a lot of range of motion for the shoulder. Should really feel these in your upper back. You're going to go through 3 rounds of 10 and 10. So 10 rows, 10 prone swimmers. Once you're done there, so we're going to do some overhead squats. We're going to do basically 5 by 5. If you have a barbell, you can take the bar from the ground, you can clean it, jerk it over the back, and then bring the hands out nice and wide, and then you can jerk from behind the neck so that you're in a comfortable overhead squat position. If you have access to a rack, that's fantastic, good for you. If you have a dumbbell or an odd object and you're going to do it on one arm, we're going to talk about that last. So we're going to go through the barbell first, just talk about a couple points of performance. So things that are most important when you're going through an overhead squat. Number 1, you want to try your best to keep your elbow pointed at the ground or about 45 degrees. So somewhere between here and here is going to be my ideal overhead squat position. So you're going to try and maintain that the whole time. One of the best ways to do that is to try and take your shoulder blade and draw it down and lock it in. If I can maintain this position, I'm likely going to have a strong position here. So those are the 2 most important things when you're going through an overhead squat. Last thing to kind of just keep in mind as well, when you initiate the overhead squat, it's really common because people start to think about keeping their chest up. So what they end up doing is they overextend here to try and keep the chest up. And then as they sit down, they really overextend through their midline. And we don't want to do that. We want to try and avoid that. So the ribs should stay generally locked down as I send my entire spine down and back. And then I'm going through full range of motion as best I can and back up. And we're looking for 5 challenging reps at a time for 5 sets. Technique first though, so make sure you're getting your depth, make sure your shoulders look good. That's with the barbell. Now, if you're using a dumbbell or a kettlebell, doing one arm overhead squats is incredibly challenging. Very mobility demanding. You're going to do 5 on each arm, so you'll do 5 on the right arm, 5 on the left arm for 5 sets.
3 to 5.
We're going to go 5. So what I would highly recommend, number 1 of the reasons it's so hard is because it's a narrow grip overhead squat. Like you're not way out here. That object is going to be stacked right over your shoulder. So what you should definitely do is elevate your heels. So if you're not very mobile or very flexible, I would elevate your heels from the start. So take 2 thin books or something like that, toss them under your heels so that you can get a little bit of lift. So that I would look like this basically, heels are off the ground and I've got a solid object under there. And that's just gonna help remove some of the mobility demand so that you can work on this really challenging exercise. But a lot of the points of performance are the same. I still want to try and keep that press position. So again, shoulders locked in, screwed in. I'm trying to turn my thumb to the room behind me. Once you've got that set, so I'm going to do a very excessive heel lift right now, but just so you guys can kind of see the difference. So for me, I'm pretty flexible. So I have pretty good positions, but if I'm doing an overhead squat, this is about as low as I can get in a good position right now. If I elevate my heels, I can get way lower down into this squat. My chest is still super upright and my hands are still in a good position. So this is what I would recommend that you do if you don't have access to a barbell, and a single object overhead squat is super challenging for you. So again, kettlebell or dumbbell, 5 reps on each arm. If the kettlebell or dumbbell is too heavy, you can definitely load up a backpack and just hold on to a strap, and you can load it up over your shoulder, or anything else really. Load a pillowcase with some, I don't know, pillows. You can use that for your overhead squats. So that's your strength work for the day, overhead squats. After that, we have a 20-minute AMRAP, that beautiful time domain that nobody likes. So what we've got is we've got 10 push press, 10 weighted step-ups, and then we've got 10 plyo step-ups or machine calories. So if you have access to a machine, obviously that's awesome. It's supposed to snow a whole bunch here in Ithaca tonight apparently, so we're probably not going to be doing any kind of running outside for this workout. So I'll give you guys some options. First, push press. If you have access to a barbell, this is another prime example where you should be able to start the workout unbroken, but you're not going to maintain that the entire time. So if you have a barbell, RX load might be something like 135/95, and then scale from there. So that's if you have a barbell. Again, you're going to start with 10 reps unbroken, and you're going to break it up as the workout goes along. If you're using a single object like a dumbbell or a kettlebell, again, you can modify the reps a little bit based on how challenging the weight is. So if you have a weight that's going to be relatively challenging, just do 5 reps on each arm. 10 total, 5 on each side, perfectly fine. If your object is a little light, you can feel free to up the reps a little bit, so you can do maybe 12 or 14 reps around. And if your object is super heavy and you can't even do 5 reps on that one side, you can always scale the reps down a little bit. So you could do 6 or 8 total per round, which would be 3 or 4 on each side. So a couple things to keep in mind with push press. Most important thing, would you mind sliding, Vanna? I know Vanna does the demo, not the videotaping, but. So again, a couple things to keep in mind. So whenever you do any kind of overhead pressing movement, push press, push jerk, anything like that, always want to warm up your dip. So make sure that you do at least 10 to 15 reps of this before you start your workout. Heels in contact with the wall or in line with the wall if you're using something like I am now. My butt is in contact with the wall and my upper back is in contact with the wall. From there, I want to turn my toes out just a little bit, and I'm just going to sit down about 3 inches. Heels should remain flat on the ground, and my butt and my upper back should maintain contact with the wall. And then I'm going to stand up hard and press. Back down, stand up hard and press. So you're going to go through, let's say, 10 to 15 reps of this, just with your hands, focusing on positions as a bit of a warm-up for your push press. Last thing to always try and keep in mind, anytime anything is overhead, ribs are always pulled down. So keep that in mind. Next movement up. So you got 20-minute AMRAP. Again, we got 10 push press to start. Then we've got 10 weighted step-ups. So for those, you're going to use your kettlebell or your dumbbell. So back on me, Vanna. So you're going to use your kettlebell or your dumbbell. You're going to do 10 reps total, 5 reps on each side. This is not funny. Caitlin's making me laugh, and we're not going to talk about why. We got 10 weighted step-ups, guys. So again, oh my God. So it's... Sorry. We got 5 on each side. So for these, again, we're going to be ideally at 24 and 20 inches. So in a perfect world, we're looking for box step-ups here. And it's very similar to the ones that we had during the open. You're going to load your kettlebell on your shoulder, or if you have your dumbbell on your shoulder. If you have a kettlebell, you can hold it in a goblet position or wherever is comfortable. It doesn't matter how you hold this. But again, you can use either a chair, you can use a sturdy coffee table, you can use the stairs at your house. But what we're looking for is, again, a challenging depth. So for me, this is about parallel. So I want to be stepping up to parallel or below. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're checking out your object. Object is held however you want, and we're going to alternate legs. So standing all the way up to full extension of the hip, and then back down on the same leg before I switch. So you're going to do 10 total, 5 on each side. Once you're done there, your last movement for the workout is going to be, again, either plyo step-ups or machine calories. So if you have access to a machine, it's 10 calories for everybody. If you are going to be doing plyo step-ups, you're going to do 20 total, 10 on each leg. What's going to happen is, again, for these, we're thinking about an athletic, explosive step-up. So I'm going to touch one foot to the top of the box, and then I'm going to jump the other foot to the top of the box. Here. And I'm going to try and do those in a quick fashion. And you're going to do 20 total, again, 10 on each side. If your object that you're stepping up to is too tall, it's too challenging to do this movement to, a set of stairs would be great. So just like 4 or 8 inches, you can drop that height a little bit, or again, a stack of textbooks, something like that would be perfectly fine. So that's your workout today, 20-minute AMRAP. After that, our accessory work is some tempo overhead tricep extensions and some tempo overhead, or sorry, not overhead curls, some tempo curls followed by fast reps. So again, we got slow twitch and then fast twitch. So what you're going to do for the overhead tricep extension, ideally you're going to use your kettlebell or your dumbbell, but you're more than welcome to, again, use a backpack for this. It'll be perfectly fine if your kettlebell or dumbbell is too heavy. So what you're going to do, I'm going to start locked out up overhead. I'm going to bring the dumbbell down so that my elbow is at 90 degrees, and then I'm going to press back up to lockout. The first 5 reps are going to be done in a tempo of 3-1-3-1. So what that means is that I'm going to hold for 1 second here, then I'm going to do 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000, pause for 1, 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000. Once I'm done 5 reps like that, I'm going to do 10 reps fast, so just as quickly as I can. Once you're done there, you're going to do 5 tempo curls at the same exact tempo, plus 10 normal curls at a fast tempo. And again, you can do this with a barbell. Backpack would be ideal so that you can do both arms at the same time. But we're going at the exact same tempo. So what we're looking for, we're 1 second hold in the bottom, followed by 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000, hold for 1, 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000, hold for 1. And I'm going to go through 5 reps just like that. When you're done, you're doing 10 as fast as you can. And you're going to do that anywhere from 3 to 5 rounds. So serious arm pump to finish up the week here. And then we've got a serious core pump to finish up the week. So what we've got here, 20 side to side heel touch crunches. So what the heck is that? It is this. So what you're going to do is I'm going to basically be in a sit-up position. I'm going to bring my chest off the ground, so I'm going to hold an active position. Think about like a hollow body for the top half of my body. And then I'm going to alternate reaching down on my foot as far as I can. You notice my shoulders stay off the ground the whole time. So again, I'm engaged here, and then we're engaging the obliques on the side to reach from side to side here. So it's 20 reps total, 10 going towards each foot. Once you're done there, we're going to do 10 V-sits. So for those, all we're going to do is we're just going to sit up as far as you can, back down. Again, just reaching down towards the heels every single time and getting that crunch going. You're going to do 10 of those, and then again, you're going to run through that for 5 rounds. After that, we just have a little bit of mobility. So you got a karate chop stretch, bent arm child's pose, and then puppy dog. So a lot of upper body and arm stretching. So for your karate chop stretch, we're just going to go hands and knees. Arm's going to come across the body at 45 degrees, and then we're going to sink that armpit down towards the ground, looking to stretch out the lat. You're going to hold for a minute before you switch sides. After that, we've got a bent arm child's pose. So you can do this on the ground, or you can do it on an elevated surface. But what we're looking for is elbows go on the object. My head is going to sink through, and then I'm going to reach my hands back behind me so that I get a nice little tricep stretch. And I'm just going to try and tug on my shirt, and I'm going to hold this position for a minute. Then lastly, you've got a 2-minute puppy dog. Again, I would recommend using a chair. Sink the head through with the arms straight, and now we're just looking to stretch out the upper back and the chest a little bit. So, it's a lot on a Saturday, but enjoy. It's a great way to wrap up the week. If you guys have any questions, again, you can always comment or reach out. Otherwise, tag us, Forged by Zeus, Palace.Ithaca, CrossFit Queens, and we will see you back on Sunday to talk about Monday.